So I'll hand over to Premaniketan Prabhu. It's Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day today, final Panchatattva, incarnation of Radharani, so an important day.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Vijana Vallabha Devadhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Vijana Vallabha Devadhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha
Hare
Should be Mukunda Guru sitting here giving class, but he became. I'll just try to make an attempt. So, last week we read from chapter 2, verses 28 and 29. 28 and 29. Oh, but she was awake, was she? Out of it? Okay. So do you remember what we discussed last week?
The birth of the dead, the cycle.
Yeah, you were awake. Okay. So last week we discussed Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma vitasya cha tasmad apariharate tvam sochitum arhasi. Translation is, one who has taken birth is sure to die. There shouldn't be any doubt. We have not seen anyone who has lived forever. And after death, one is sure to take birth again. Unless we break the cycle of birth and death, we'll be born again. In what shape and form? If we have enough intelligence, we can determine that. But if we have free fall, the fate will decide. Because many do not know what they are doing to their lives. Yeah? Many are bewildered and lost. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Before this, Krishna has already established that there is no point lamenting even for this body, because this body is temporary. Yeah, matter has been accumulated in a way that it looks a kind of shape. But the person that is inside, the real person, that is eternal. This is just a covering. So what to lament for? There's nothing. And Sri Krishna is starting from the verses 25, 26, 27, 28. He goes on telling Arjuna, do not lament. Yeah? Sochitum arhasi, do not lament. Do not lament. Repeatedly Krishna is saying this. Yeah? So when something in Shastras said 3 times, yeah, means it is really very important thing to do. Yeah? What's the famous verse we recite and we joyfully recite it? Yeah, it is to do with Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva.
Naste. What's the full verse? Anyone remembers? Anyone?
Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Nasti eva, Nasti eva, Nasti eva gatirannatha.
Jai. That's Mala Mataji. Thank you, Mala Mataji. What's the meaning? Anyone else would like to? It's a fairly self-explanatory. You want to say, Mataji?
Yeah. So Harinam, Harinam, Harinam is the only way forward. There is nothing else, nothing else, nothing else.
Yes.
I didn't quite translate it, but
yeah.
There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way.
There is no other way, there is no other way. So here in Kali Santra Upanishad, it has been stressed 3 times. Yeah? That's the only method. And here Krishna is stressing more than 3 times. Do not lament whatever happens to this body. Do not lament whatever happens to this wretched mind that drives us crazy. Do not lament whatever happens to our ego. Yeah? We are so much trapped. Someone hurt my ego and we just go crazy, don't we? Yeah. And Krishna, if you have come to the path of bhakti, Krishna will definitely arrange that our ego Because it is said that Sri Vishnu, he feasts on devotees' ego. So do not lament that Krishna will test our resolve when it comes to ego. Yeah? Krishna will do. Some form or other, Krishna will test. One is not, kind of nice and good time. Everything is fine and I'm very good devotee. But until someone crosses our path and then, how dare, I'm a senior Vaishnava. I'm this, I'm that, I have these attributes. I've done Bhakti Shastri, I've done Bhakti Vaibhav, I give Bhagavatam class, I can preach, I have got so many disciples, so much. Like Durvasa Muni, he has 10,000 disciples. He came to Draupadi. I want to have feast. I'm going to have a bath. Come back. You better be ready. And Durvasa Muni was I wouldn't say crazy sadhu, but Krishna was there to break his ego. And Krishna, as he went to take bath, Krishna just arrived to Draupadi. I'm hungry. And Draupadi was, hello. You hungry? The pot is empty. I can't cook it again, because she has a special pot that she can cook once and she can feed thousands and millions of people if she wanted. It won't empty until she had washed the pot. And she just finished washing the pot, put it, and Krishna just arrived. Yeah? And Draupadi said, Krishna, don't try here. I'm in trouble. I know you're in trouble. That's why I'm here. Krishna said internally, I'm hungry. So what? Oh, there's nothing. I just washed the pot. There's nothing in it. Why don't you bring the pot? Let me have a look. And Draupadi brought the pot, and Krishna inspected. Krishna knew where the little sharp, little kind of leaf, little spinach was hanging there. He just took that, put in the mouth. And what happened? There Durvasa Muni, who was kind of bathing in the river with 10,000 disciples, they all instantly felt completely full. If I go to Draupadi for feast, the Bhima will make us definitely eat feast. And we are not in a situation. We are too full. They are burping constantly. They said, let's do one thing. Without telling them, let's run away. That's the Krishna can do. Yeah? He doesn't like his devotees' ego. Durvasa was a very special soul. Krishna has given him that kind of power. But he was very angry. And Krishna doesn't like that. He will make sure that our ego is closed. So it happens, feel happy that Krishna has taken the charge of our life. Finally, someone who we can trust, someone who we can rely. Yeah? So that's that. And then we read verse 28. Abhyaktadini bhutani vyaktam dhyani bharata abhyakta nidhanya eva tatra ka paridevata. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So real essence of ourselves never gets annihilated. The Panchabhuta, the Panch Tattvas, they go back into the atomic phase. Yeah? If you go to Harishchandra Ghat in Kashi, there's constantly the bodies are coming and being burnt. Yeah? For materialistic people, that's a ghastly sight, seeing the body burn. But for someone who are serious in their spiritual life, they should really go and sit there and observe what this body goes through. It just disintegrates within an hour. Ashes. They're thrown into Ganges. Next body comes. Yeah, it's like a conveyor belt. That's what happens. Why so much kind of going into, like decorating and painting. In the age of Kali, after the body dies, people decorate and all people come, oh, he was such a nice person. Until they were, the dead, he was such a rubbish. He was such a miserly man. He never gave me any money. He never gave me any gift. All of that. Yeah. Now suddenly, this person was so pious. The same thing happened to my mother. People coming, oh, she was very nice. She was very pious person. She was this. But until that point, people hardly came to see her. Because her sight when she was dying was not very pleasant. That's life. That's life. Let's read the verse 29. It's quite difficult to read. Shall we read together? Are we happy? Ascharya. My glasses. This is better. Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidena. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah. Ascharyavat chainam anyah shrunoti. Shrudvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschid. Ascharyavat. As amazing. Pasyati. Sees. Kaschit. Someone. Enam. This so. Ascharyavat. As amazing. Vadati. Speaks of. Tatha. Thus. Eva. Certainly. Cha. Also. Anya. Another. Ascharyavat. Similarly. Amazing. Cha. Also. Enam. This so. Anya. Another. Shrunoti. Hears of. Shrutva. Having heard. Api. Evam. Enam. This soul. Veda. Knows. Na. Never. Cha. And. Eva. Certainly. Kaschit. Someone. How many times Krishna has used Ascharya here? 3 times. Yeah? What is Ascharya? Amazement. Yeah? Amazement. Translation. Some look on the soul as amazing. Just pay attention to each word of this verse. Some describe him as amazing. And some hear of him as amazing. While others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Yeah? Some look on the soul as amazing. So they can see the soul. Yeah? Isn't it? So they can see the soul. Yeah? They can start seeing each individual as a living being, not just dead matter. Yeah? Some describe him. So someone can describe the soul fantastically well. Yeah? All the attributes and everything go on. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they would know. And they describe it fantastically. And some hear of him as amazing. Someone sit like in the class, yeah, and they are hearing the katha about the soul. While others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Yeah? So people are all amazed, astonished. Look at the quality of, look at the soul. And katha became fantastically amazing. But what Krishna says, cannot understand him at all. All of these 4 people, they cannot understand him. Since the Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishads, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. Savarnopyapi bahurbhiyo nalabhya Srinvantopi bhava Bahavo yam na vidyo Ascharya vakta kushalo salabdha Ascharya sa janata kusalan sisa. So Srila Prabhupada here doesn't give exact translation to this verse. This is from Katha Upanishad. And he says, Shravan. Shravan means what? Hearing. Shravana yapi bahubhi yona labhya. Yeah? So hear a lot about personality of Godhead or the soul. Sarvantopi bahavo yamna vidyu. You read and you try to understand, you kind of build your knowledge about it. Ascharyo vakta kushalo salabdha. Someone is speak, kusal means expert. Vakta means person who can speak. So very expertly talk about the personality of Godhead. And very expertly can talk about the soul. Ascharya janata kuslanu sista. Then there is another class who are Shishya, who are the students of the Vedanta. And they try to understand. What's the quality here? One has to be a good teacher, one has to be a fantastic student. Then the combination is fantastic. Then the knowledge can be imparted and we can understand. But the speaker is just after Dakshina. I've come to give a class, I need some money. People who come to give class after taking money should not hear Srimad Bhagavatam or any topics related to Krishna at all. Neither that person who is speaking would benefit, because in this process what happened? That Vakta, means the speaker, and the Shishya, the disciples or the students, they all benefit. So there has to be, like Parikshit Maharaj, he was a fantastic Shishya. And Shukadeva Goswami, most exalted teacher. Can you see the combination? And not only that, there were hundreds and thousands, including Narad Muni, including Brahma, including Lord Shiva. They're all there, listening to this young boy, Shukadeva Goswami. Hundreds and thousands of students, they sat with rapt attention for 7 days and 7 nights continuously. Yeah? That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amalam Puranam. It's the purest of pure. Shukadeva Goswami was the purest of pure speaker. And Parikshit Maharaj was the purest of pure student who wanted to learn the science of Krishna consciousness. Yeah? What a perfect combination. And this practice is still going on, but neither the Vakta, neither the teacher, nor the students are perfect. Yeah? That's why there is no benefit. There has to be eagerness from the speaker's point of view, there has to be eagerness from the student's point of view to learn the science. Yeah? Both has to be there. There's a culture in India that people kind of hear Srimad Bhagavatam Katha just before they are going to die. It is just have become a customary. Yes, they do it, it's still good, better. It become customary. And what they hear, they straight away go to 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because in 7 days, 4 hours daily, you even can't complete the first canto, forget about the 10th. 10 cantos or 12 cantos together. Impossible. Straight to 10th canto. And what they talk about? Rasa Leela. Huh? Rasa Leela is such a Guhyadam, such a confidential thing. And straight to Rasa Leela. Straight to Krishna's kind of play pastimes of Vrindavan. Until we understand who Krishna is, to understand his play pastimes, even Lord Shiva has to beg to enter the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Even Brahma did not even get a chance to enter the pastimes of Krishna. Indra was chastised brutally and he was sent away. As soon as he turned around to go back to his abode, all the gopas, the cowherd boys, they made fun of him. And he turned, oh my goodness, I couldn't do anything. And here we just want to straight away enter into the pastimes of Krishna, that to the Vrindavan, not even Dwarka, not even Mathura, the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, pastimes of Krishna in Gokul, very serious matter. We must read Srimad Bhagavad Gita first. Yeah? Clear the doubts that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. There should not be any doubt before we touch the Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is like a nectar. The way it is described, that this mango fruit has no skin and has no bone. Yet it is just nicely shaped. When we surrender to Guru, what happens? Rasapayanam. The Guru helps you to drink this nectarian mango juice. Mango straight into your mouth. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam is. And that is Krishna's pastimes. Not easy, not a faint to get the grasp of who Krishna is. What Krishna himself is describing here. That I'm so rare. Krishna in this kind of shloka, he's saying that Ashcharya. People look at me, people look at the soul as amazement. Now forget about me. People not come to Paramatma, people have not come to Krishna, people not come to Vishnu, Mahavishnu. Krishna is just talking about the soul, and the people are so amazed. Looking at the quality, hearing about the quality of soul, talking about it. Someone is, yeah? That's what Krishna is talking here. Amazement. Now forget about who can understand the soul. Krishna has to again reveal that we are the soul. With our own strength we can't. Can we? With our own strength we can't understand that who we are. Our mind is so polluted. The fact that atomic soul is within the body of gigantic animal. How to understand this? The microorganism has the soul. In 1 centimeter of our skin, you know how many bacteria, how many microorganisms are there? Anyone want to have a guess? 1 billion. 1 centimeter. In our whole body, how many cells and how many souls, how many microorganisms are there? There are 30 trillion cells we have, and there are 40 trillion microorganisms. Who owns this body? Microorganism? Just imagine if you because we are a democratic country we live in. Who owns the body? Is it our cells that we can see? Or the microorganism that invisible, they are basically Yeah? And if you try to get rid of those microorganisms, we won't exist even for a moment. They are making a nice, fantastic, refined balance. That's the Krishna's arrangement. Yeah? Can you imagine? 40 trillion microorganisms. If someone is big, there are more. 40 trillion. Are we amazed? That's the Krishna's creation. Yeah? The more deep we go, the more amazement comes. But unless Krishna reveals from within and make us understand, we will just live in amazement. Oh, fantastic, this is fantastic. No. When we know Krishna, we accept everything. That amazement disappears. The point when we come to understand Krishna is mine. Krishna is like for Gopas or Vrindavan. They climb on Krishna's shoulders and make him run. And we get amazed about the soul. And also in the microbiologic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only 1 inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Men with poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit. Srila Prabhupada just nailed it. We cannot understand. Yeah? If you go to fantastic amusement park, we get bewildered and all. And here Srila Prabhupada is saying, atomic spark of spirit, we cannot understand it. Even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. That a gigantic banyan tree, and hundreds of tons weighing whale floating in the ocean had the same tiny soul there as well. Amazed. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand. Yeah? So we have no time to understand. We have to give little effort, little time, little understanding, a little surrenderance to person who knows this science. Then only it is possible. We go to school, we went to medical school, you go to engineering college. We surrendered ourselves. That my teacher has better knowledge and let me patiently hear them out. And we learn. This is science. This is also science. We think, oh, I'll go to temple and, old, tethered rupee or the pound we'll put in the box. Krishna, I gave it to you. I'm such a charitable person. Yeah? I fed, I do not yet, 100 pounds so I can feed 50 devotees in the temple. Now the entire village needs to know about this story. Yeah? Yes, we do that. Yeah. Bhakti is silent process. And we have to realize this. The more when we are with our own selves, practice bhakti, it tests that, when you are alone, what do we do with our time, with ourselves? There's a massive disease has come that you sit with the phone and just flip the screen continuously. Yeah? I saw the people completely grey hair, hardly any black hair in their scalp, and they are flipping. I was shocked. I'm like, hello, what are you doing with your life? But soon they turn around and you kind of ask about a spiritual topic, they will start talking as if they are all knowledgeable. But in practice, zero. That's very common. Even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. Unless we come to this point that I'm soul, and there is Paramatma within our heart, and Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, supreme controller, I'm insignificant, I'm useless, our existence becomes useless. Either we accept via Bhagavad Gita, or we accept by queuing up to that pyre where your next turn is going to come. And you don't know what's the next birth we're going to take. Yeah? Because what Krishna says, Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. At the time of death, whatever is there, that's what is going to be. Will become. Perhaps they have no idea that one must think of the soul and thus make a solution to the material miseries. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the soul and atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. Yeah? Mayavad philosophy. Everyone is the same. Krishna, I'm also Krishna. Krishna is me as well. Yeah? All equal. That's the big thing. And Srila Prabhupada, he hammers in every single verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He somehow or other, he gets to this point. Yeah? Not every creature, not every Devata and Krishna are the same. They're not on the same platform. Doesn't matter how powerful that personality is, even Brahma is a Jiva. He is not the Supreme. He is empowered by Krishna to perform a task. Tapa, austerity, he performed millions and billions of years. Then Krishna says, Tathastu. You get this knowledge and now you can create, you procreate. It is very difficult to find the man who perfectly understands the position of the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective functions and relationships and all other major and minor details. And it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from that knowledge of the soul and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if someone or somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. Beautiful, isn't it? How Srila Prabhupada ends the paragraph. We got to know. We have to know. And we have to make an effort. Yeah? If I have to study for 10 kind of years and 20 years to become a doctor, can you imagine how much we have to study and deep dive, and how much concentration, how much focus, how much determination, usaha, nishchaya, dhairyat. There has to be enthusiasm, there has to be patience and determination. Yeah? Tat karan pravartanat. If you don't have this, we may jump in Kirtan nicely for 10 days or 2 weeks. It's boring. They do the same thing again and again. Yeah? Yeah. And they disappear. They disappear. This is a very serious business. Very serious business. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statement of Bhagavad Gita. Simple. Srila Prabhupada gives a recipe here. You take the message of this book as it is. Don't misconstrue, Don't misunderstand it. This is not for me, this is for someone else, this is for sannyasi, this is for grihasthas. No. Here Krishna is not saying this Bhagavad Gita is for grihasthas or sannyasis or brahmacharis. No. Nowhere Krishna is saying in this entire book that Bhagavad Gita is for this caste, this creed. No, nothing. Absolutely not. It's for everyone. And same thing applies to Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam applies to everyone. And that was the perplexed state the Veda Vyas was. Because he done so much churning of the Vedas, from one Veda to four Vedas, then Samhitas and Upanishads and all of that. And he got confused and bewildered. There are thousands of these things. And he sat down there. Hello. I'm not happy after all this hard work. And Narad Muni, what he said? Because we haven't glorified Sri Krishna directly, the jivas are going to get bewildered reading one Upanishads after Upanishads and Samhitas after Samhitas, the rules and regulations, yams and niyams and all of that. It's not described to Krishna directly. And here in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna even doesn't talk about any of those things what the Shastras kind of filled with. He has taken the essence from all of that. Because in Shastras we have to search for what is for me, what is for others, what is for me, what is for others. But here Krishna has just given what we need to know. Here Shukadeva Goswami has given what we need to know in this lifetime. That's it. And Srila Prabhupada has beautifully put in a kind of way that when anyone in Russia, the people were jailed. They got Bhagavad Gita from this book. They started chanting. They got the bread and made the bead, and they got the kind of thread from blanket. They made a kind of mala, and they started chanting. When they came out of the jail, you know where did they go? They didn't go to meet their family. Where they went? Where is ISKCON temple? They straight away went to the Hare Krishna temple. Yeah. They stayed away from Krishna. There's devotees whose nails were pulled out by KGB. Give up. There was a mother whose daughter was killed before her eyes. Give up. Krishna. Yes, we have to endure our share of tapasya. Tapa has to be there. And tapa is what? It has to be done voluntarily. I can't wake up at 4 a.m. Let Krishna's Mangal Arati do someone else. I happily watch on YouTube video. Fantastic, I'm done. I post it to 10 people. I'm such a great devotee. We have to make an effort. 16 rounds chanting, someone else can do. The days I go to temple, I'll just chant there so people can see me. I'm chanting. Yeah. I become active when I go to temple. I have tilak, I have dhoti, I have kurta, look nice, beautiful photo clips. Then they make reels, move. It's so famous, these things, isn't it? It's happening. We have been, enough. We're trying to cheat Krishna. Who is the biggest cheater? Who? Caught red-handed with butter in the mouth. Maiya Mori, main nahi makhan khaya. I did not eat butter. And there's butter on his head. Can you imagine Krishna? We're trying to cheat him by just mere show. Can we do that? It's impossible. It's impossible. Once Krishna, he was walking, there was a gopi who caught him stealing butter from her house. She caught him, bringing her to Yashoda Maya. Yashoda, look at your son, what he does. And Yashoda, no, where is my son? Hello. Oh, that's my son. So Krishna became that gopi's son. And when Krishna, when she got very ashamed, and Krishna told her, next time I'll become your husband. Don't even try. Yeah. Yes. And we are here to cheat Krishna. Krishna was doing all these pastimes, please, because gopis wanted that. If Krishna sometime did not go to gopis would come to Yashoda Maya and complain. They've done something to your son, he's not come to my courtyard to steal butter. I've left it on the... And sometimes they will come and talk about, so Krishna knows where they've hidden the butter. So he comes straight. To lure Krishna, they will have the butter on their pot on their head. Oh, Krishna didn't come today. Let me go through Krishna's courtyard so he can see that we are carrying butter. Oh, I didn't see Krishna. Let's go and see Krishna. I didn't see Krishna's dance. And Krishna likes butter. We'll give him this much butter and make Krishna dance. Huh? Yeah. And we want to cheat Krishna. Not possible. Krishna is sitting, Paramatma is sitting in everyone's heart. And that's what Srila Prabhupada goes on to say in the next verse, that Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. Let's not fake it. Krishna knows. When we are about to leave this body, unless we have practiced hard, one come. It has to come. Yeah? Surrender comes when there's genuineness. The fake surrender is so common. They get exposed. Yeah? There are so many kind of Bhagavatam speakers in India. They get exposed every single time. People are losing faith in them. That's why it's very important to become a genuine devotee. Because after so many efforts and everything, one comes to Krishna consciousness. It is such a rare opportunity, people come. But if they leave because of my behavior, my character, the way I speak, the way I talk, the gravest sin we can ever commit. It's very important that our etiquette, our behavior, our character must be top-notch. Not just here when we meet devotees here, at our workplace, when you're walking on the street, we're kind of traveling, going in the metro or tube or train, whatever. Our conduct must be 100% genuine. We should behave like a devotee. We are representing Krishna. Yes, we don't know Krishna, but we are representing Srila Prabhupada. That's a very important thing to remember. We are representing Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was... How can we glorify this personality? We don't have words. The only way we can glorify him by going out, preaching and taking care of devotees who come to our service. That's the only way we can repay debt to Srila Prabhupada. What we have received, we should give it away to countless people who we, that's so important. This personality will probably, if we can understand Srila Prabhupada, maybe an iota would be our success of our life in Krishna consciousness. It's that personality we are representing. Brahma Madhava Gaudi Sampradaya. Massive kind of burden we have on our shoulders. We must carry it, we must learn to carry it. It's very important that we do that. Lord Krishna, yeah, and my glasses don't read it properly. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of Bhagavad Gita spoken by greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way. Can you see? Yeah? And how do we know who is a pure devotee and who is not? That someone may be dressed like a, hippie. Yeah? Like Namdev. Yeah? Namdev, a dog came and run away with his chapati, roti. And Namdev looked at. And Namdev also ran behind the dog. And dog is thinking that he's chasing me. But Namdev, what he had in his hand? He had a pot full of ghee. Because he could see Krishna in everyone's heart. And he saw dog as Krishna. Stop. Let me apply little ghee in your roti, chapati. Then you eat it. Yes. I'll stop there. Any comments, any questions, any doubts? Any comments, Prabhu?
Nice class. You've covered everything.
Very. We'll have a nice Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Grace Premaniketan Das Ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Bye.
Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Both Vaishnavrinda ki. Ram Charshra Hardas Thakur ki. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki. Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kundgiri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. Vaipul Dham ki. Yamai ki. Yamai ki. Bhaktidevi Bhaktidevi ki. Shamadevi Bhaktivedanta ki. Shri Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day ki. All glorious assembled devotees. Assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Guru.
Any announcements? Last Friday of the month, it will be what date? We have dinner? Next week. Yeah, so next Friday we have Harinam, starting 6 o'clock. So we all assemble here and we go for Harinams and Kirtan. And this time we'll take some books with us. So we will distribute some books alongside. We can find any kind of who are willing to help, definitely. Yeah, we'll take some books. Then 2nd of May, we have our Krsna-Katha celebration at Das Farm. That's it for next 2 weeks. Yes.
So it's a welcome devotee all the way from
Yes.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Just kind of visiting family, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, welcome. What's your name?
Let us-
Sorry?
My name?
Yeah,
Sundarangi.
welcome.
Sundarangi Mataji Devi Dasi. Yeah. Yes. So let us welcome her with our kind of Vaishnava etiquette. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
That's good.
And how many days have you been here, Mataji? How many days have you been in this? When did you come?
Return.
No. Here, when did you come? When did you come
You're
here?
translating on the phone.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so, I don't know about Portuguese, but when did you arrive? Come here? Arrived. When did you
When
come?
I arrived here.
Yeah.
Okay. Last week.
Last week.
Last week.
Last week you came to this
I
country.
arrived here on Wednesday. Last week.
Last week, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Friday.
I return to Brazil next week in Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm going to return here. I'm sorry.
But thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you.
See, that's the quality of a devotee. She came just for a visit and she searched center and she came here.
I'm very happy because I met devotees here, devotees of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada.
Very welcome.
Gauranga. Thank you. Let's have prasad.
Okay.
It's time for prasad now.